Drug maker Eli Lilly has sued 6 companies, most based in Texas, claiming they're playing with patients' lives by selling retatrutide. This is a promising new weight loss drug that Lilly has been investigating in clinical trials. The lawsuit points out that these companies, one pharmacy, one California med spa, and the other's online telehealth sites, are making guinea pigs of their customers. That's because the FDA has not yet approved retatrutide for human consumption. This is a more powerful drug than the GLP-1s that you've heard of, like Ozempic and Wegovy. Retatrutide is sometimes called a GLP-3 drug because it targets 3 receptors to suppress appetite, and the data shows that it works very well. Here in Seattle, our King 5 investigation, Selling Skinny, has exposed how some companies have been recklessly manufacturing and selling GLP-1 drugs. The nonprofit Partnership for Safe Medicines has been warning about the emergence of illegal retatrutide. It says authorities need to do more to crack down on these companies because of a broad and serious danger to patient safety.
This is the reality so many people are facing in Spokane as evacuation orders are reduced and they're getting a chance to get back into the neighborhoods. You can see the total destruction directly behind me, burned out cars, houses completely leveled down to just ashy rubble. But beyond that is a busy street that just reopened. It's so hard to balance the sight of routine traffic sandwiched between all of this destruction and then those homes way off in the distance that look like they weren't even touched by fire. In all, hundreds upon hundreds of structures have been destroyed, and now as people are going back home or to what was home, they are getting a heavy dose of reality that their lives, their livelihoods have changed forever.
I'm an investigative reporter, but I'm also a dog mom to this little lady. And this is one quick investigative tip that I always do before I take her to a new veterinarian. First thing you want to do is Google this, the American Association of Veterinary License Lookup. Once you're on this page, you can see that they have a search box where you can find the licensing board for any state in the country. And for most of them, you can look up someone by their name. I'm going to look up someone who actually got in trouble for veterinary problems in New Jersey to show you what exactly to look out for. So this is what to look out for. You can see that the license status over there says voluntary surrender. And when you click on his name, it's actually going to bring up even more information on when the license was issued, when it was supposed to expire, and how the status is voluntary surrender. And the status change reason is because of a board order. Down here, it also gives more information involving an attorney general complaint. So if you just go and search for this veterinarian's name, and then I just typed in the state there, New Jersey, it pops right up with what happened with the attorney general. You can see he agreed to permanently retire from practice after some serious problems involving inadequate treatment of several animals in his care, leading to their untimely deaths. And that's why you should always do this before taking your pet to a new veterinarian. Make sure to follow for more investigative tips and tricks.
This morning, traveling on the east side could get tricky because of an unusual crash. Garbage is blocking the ramp from 405 northbound to I-90 eastbound. This semi-truck overturned around 4 this morning, and yeah, it was carrying trash. So you can see the mess that is currently out there for crews to deal with this morning. Tow truck drivers are working to get the truck out of the way, but then cleaning up the trash, that's a whole nother situation. So we do know no injuries are involved, but if you are heading out, you are going to want to use some alternate routes. Think about using Cold Creek Parkway. If you usually use Cold Creek Parkway, be prepared that even more people may be on your drive, out on your drive this morning. We're tracking the latest details on King 5 right now. You can also find us streaming on the King 5 app.
I'd tell him I loved him. I love him like a brother. He's such a wonderful figure in life. And like an example of how to be a man or a person or just a human being. He was just commuting to work on his motorcycle like he did every single day of the year. Unless it was icy or raining, he'd drive that same bike all year long. And someone ran into him, and then it was a hit and run. They just drove off and they left him there to die on the road. Not just her and a couple kids, it's her, all 7 of Jeff's kids, and his mother-in-law all live in the same house. And Jeff is the one that supported this entire household.
Federal investigators now say an engine fan blade broke off on a Ryanair flight last month that ended up shattering a plane window and caused a man to be partially sucked out of the plane. That Boeing 737 was climbing out of Greece on a flight to Germany on July 10th. The 61-year-old man who was nearly sucked out of the plane suffered neck and shoulder injuries and friction burns before other passengers pulled him back inside. The National Transportation Safety Board said in its report today the broken fan blade also damaged the plane's fuselage in several other places. The NTSB said bird remains were found inside the engine, which suggests the plane may have struck birds as it took off.
A 26-year-old man is being held at the King County Jail on $1 million bail after gunfire hits an unmarked Seattle police car. Now, this defendant is being accused of attempted murder, drive-by shooting, and unlawful firearm possession. He's one of 3 suspects in this case. Police say it all unfolded Wednesday around 5:30 p.m. That's when officers working on an undercover operation in an unmarked vehicle were struck by gunfire. Their vehicle had 8 bullet holes. No officers were hurt. They did not return fire, according to Seattle police. They say a chase did follow, and 3 people inside a car ended up crashing into another vehicle. Officers were able to arrest all 3 people involved. And we have a 17-year-old now booked into the Juvenile Detention Center. We have a man who is currently at Harborview Medical Center. He's in custody. And we have this 26-year-old man who appeared in a King County courtroom Thursday afternoon. His next court hearing is set for Monday, and that's when we do expect to know if prosecutors are going to file charges.
The cleanup has started. The burned trees that so strongly stood over Spokane are coming down. Just down the hill. Insurance and concerns over hazardous materials have slowed the cleanup inside the wiped out neighborhoods. For now, Porter Lawrence is sifting through the debris of the home where his aunt, uncle, and grandmother live.
I mean, you look around and there's nothing here. I mean, we've got fountain survived, there's some bricks, you can see where their washer and dryer used to be, but nothing is, there's really nothing here other than a couple little stuff.
The homeowners are on a cruise and weren't home when the fire started. Porter's 91-year-old grandma with dementia was evacuated safely. He and his parents are leading the cleanup.
And we were praying and hoping that the one thing in the safe that survived was her cake knife from her wedding.
There was a bunch of papers in there, and so they all were just, as you picked them up, they just kind of disintegrate in your hand, and then the only solid thing that was left was that knife.
You could still read her and my father's initials and the anniversary date on it. So we were just so grateful that the one thing that we prayed would live, would survive, did.
It survived almost 70 years, outlived the groom, and made it through to other fires.
But this was the one thing we were really looking for, and so we're just grateful that it's here.
Makes this all worth it to come out here and sift through this stuff.
You see, survival runs in the family.
Yes, I went through breast cancer 2 years ago. So I wore this shirt so I'd be visible, but I didn't really intend to, like bring attention to this.
So yeah, this family has the fighting spirit.
No amount of crying and hoping and anything's gonna bring it back. So you just one step at a time, move forward.
Wreckage from yesterday's chaos still litters the South Seattle streets, where police became targets and innocent people were put in harm's way. All of it intentional, according to prosecutors, as they laid out their case to a judge today.
There to be an ambush-style shooting of a car that was occupied by Seattle police officers, followed then by fleeing.
It all played out as people headed home from work yesterday evening. Police say undercover officers were tailing a stolen car when the suspects opened fire, bullets flying near MLK Jr. Way and South Cloverdale Street. Court documents reveal 8 to 10 bullet holes in the side of the unmarked car from the driver's side panel all the way to the rear. Police recovered a rifle and handgun with an extended magazine.
A significant callous disregard for community safety with just spraying bullets.
The chaos continued into Rainier Beach, where the suspects crashed, sending a driver to the hospital. Police say they then tried to carjack an innocent woman. We spoke with her tonight. She said she was not hurt, but was too afraid to talk on camera. As it stands right now, one man is held on $1 million bail, another is in the hospital, a 17-year-old is held on a slew of unrelated charges. And one more note, investigators tell us they do not believe at this point that any of this is related to the outstanding suspect from the Bite of Seattle shooting. In Seattle, Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News.
A tragic story out of Graham to tell you about. A 5-year-old girl is dead after Pierce County deputies say she was mauled to death by a large animal, possibly by her own family's dog. That girl was reported missing around 6 o'clock last night, and when deputies got to the property, they found the girl in the yard. A large dog described as aggressive wouldn't allow deputies to approach the girl, so they had to kill the dog in order to reach her. They say that her wounds were consistent with being mauled by a large animal. Now, the medical examiner will determine whether it was the family's dog or another kind of large animal that was responsible for the girl's death. This investigation is ongoing in Pierce County, and we are working to learn what led to this heartbreaking story.
But how can you continue to show up and help this team, try to end on a good note?
Yeah, like you said, just continue to show up. Every day, it's an opportunity to get better. It's an opportunity to play basketball. Last year, I was out, so, I'm grateful just to be able to play. So whenever I step on the court, whenever I step in practice, I'm always going to try to get better.
And then just from an outsider looking in, I just want to say, us Seattle community appreciate you so much. So thank you. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
If you rent in Seattle, listen to this. You know those extra costs that come out of nowhere, commonly referred to as junk fees? The Seattle City Council has passed an ordinance that would keep landlords from charging those so-called junk fees. Those extra charges might be for things like having a pet in your unit, in-unit appliances, gym access, and getting mail. The ordinance now bans those fees and requires landlords to be honest about how much they will charge a tenant for rent. Landlords can still ask for security and pet deposits, as well as late fees and parking fees. After the mayor signs a bill, it will take effect next July.
Louie's Deli has only been around since May, but they already have a loyal following. Pro tip, you need to come early because the favorites do sell out. And it might have something to do with their homemade bread, a classic sesame roll.
We've been working on the bread. My buddy Matt Jones and I worked on it for like a year out of Jupiter just for the art walks. Yeah, I get here at 4 a.m. every day and bake it.
And if you are wondering what type of sandwiches they do here,
classic turkey, bacon, we got an Italian combo, meatball, bacon, egg, and cheese.
Probably the most special is the vegan sandwich.
What about the name of this place?
Our daughter is here today. Our name, Louie's Deli, is kind of inspired by her. That's why you see like a baby riding a sandwich. You'll see like little nods to our child. She loves to play pinball. So I really want to start a toddler pinball league, which I think would be so fun.
Are you gonna eat a sandwich today?
Yeah.
That's a 12 out of 10.
And I don't even eat bread.
What? He's so healthy. I'm a walking carb, and it shows.
The truth, or rather the bricks, are out there, Agent Scully.
You've got to be kidding me. Multiple components. Interlocking system.
LEGO has released a building set based on the X-Files, featuring over 1,400 pieces, including 8 minifigures. The X-Files creator Chris Carter shared this story about the set.
I was in the Vancouver airport, actually, and I was late for my plane. And I look over and there's a LEGO store. And it's like I wanted to run over there and say, do you have the X-Files LEGO set yet? I didn't get a chance to do that, but that I'm actually able to do that at some point is going to be just mind-blowing.
I don't remember you being so small.
Rick Rizzs has been unanimously elected to the Seattle Mariner Hall of Fame.
Oh, what a moment right there.
I got goosebumps. I got to jump in, Paul. That ovation went for a long time, by the way. That was, what a special moment.
Mariners chairman John Stanton made the big announcement over the weekend. Rick Rizzs will be inducted into the Mariners Hall of Fame. It is great to have you on the show, Rick. Man, welcome aboard. Congratulations on the Mariners Hall of Fame.
Thank you so much, Paul. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, it was an amazing honor. I was totally shocked. Nobody said anything to me. They kept the secret for about 2 months. And, you know, we practiced about 5 nights before on the off night on Monday, and I didn't have John's script. I had Alvin's script, and I thought, okay, John is just working on a script, you know, and everything. But as the program is going along, I hear one highlight after another, and then I looked up on the big board. I'm sitting next to Dan Wilson, and I saw 41 seasons, and then over 6,000 games. And I looked at Danny, and I go, Danny, I said, what's going on? And he reached over, he touched my knee, he goes, buckle up. And I go, he knew, I didn't know. And then John made the announcement. I just lost. I'm a crybaby, and I cry at Hallmark commercials. And
well, how special was that moment when you heard that?
Paul and Chris, it's just amazing knowing that I'm in the Mariners Hall of Fame with Dave Niehaus, you know, where I got started here in 1983, and to be with in there with Junior and Ichiro and Dan Wilson and Randy Johnson and Lou Piniella and Jamie Moyer and all the great players down through the back. Alvin Davis, who was the first one inducted. Then David was the second one inducted. And there's my best buddy, Dave Niehaus. And to be a part of that group and honored by the organization is just one of the greatest thrill I've had in 52 years of broadcasting, you know, 8 years of the minor leagues. So I was just blown away.
A Snohomish County Second Chance Animal Shelter is set to host a summer concert in just over a week.
We partner with over 130 other shelters. And when they become too full for space reasons, or if they lack the resources to care for the animals they have, then we step in and we take those animals and we keep them until they're available for adoption. And then we also run one of the largest spay-neuter centers in Washington State, so to help prevent pet overpopulation.
Something exciting is coming to Issaquah. Mick, what is it?
Aircraft Festival, August 13th through 16th. Street arts, circus, paragliding, live music, food trucks.
Now, I'm told the city of Issaquah said, hey, paragliding, that's a big deal here. Let's do something with that. And you said, let's do more.
Yeah, I said, let's bring in the circus. Let's bring in some brass bands. Let's bring the roof off the house in Issaquah. Yeah.
So you're going to have trapeze and artists performing up and down streets of Issaquah.
Right along Rainier Trail and at the Issaquah Community Center, we're going to have Emerald City Trapeze, a ton of other great circus artists, brass bands, music, bubbles, streamers, anything to tickle your funny bone.
As we like to say, this is free. All you have to pay is attention. The name of this is
Aircraft Festival, August 13th through 16th.
I understand you already have an app you could download.
That's
you can win prizes, things
That's
like
right.
that. Where?
You get it on your phone.
You have one of those handy dandy websites?
We do. www.aircraftfest.com.
I was feeling just the urge to give back after seeing the devastation in Spokane. And I was specifically thinking about, of course, everyone, but especially breastfeeding moms, and just wondering what they were doing. So I reached out to Lisa at Series Chill, and just on a whim.
You know, not having a pump, you need to be able to feed your baby. Some moms aren't able to, you know, latch and breastfeed. So it's critical that they get supplies like this as soon as possible.
What is the response you're getting from this campaign?
It's been incredible. We have had donations from companies across the United States, international companies that have really shown up. And it was Natalie that gave me the idea to open up our warehouse. And so we have breast pumps, and we have wipes and diapers, and then the bag and the chiller. And particularly during a disaster, having a chiller like this, you maybe don't have electricity or you have to move quickly, and being able to just put an essential like breast milk in a container that you can trust that's safe, and then throw some ice in, or go to a 7-Eleven or a Starbucks and get what you need is critical. People who are in need and people who want to be connected with those in need and offer up help, they can fill out that same form, and a member of our team will make sure they reach out to make it happen.
What are some of the biggest needs that you guys have right now?
I would say diapers, wipes, and then breastfeeding essentials, you know, pumps, milk chillers, and
So yeah, and we've been able to assemble them all in the bag and get them to the families. But if families from across the state or even people who are hearing about this out of state want to contribute, we are going to Costco and we're going to Target. We're going to stores to get those essentials to put in the bags and get them to families.
Our morning producer did what any true Mariners fan would do, and he bought the $150 gold Mariners ferry boat. I'm Bethany on the King News Desk, and this is a limited edition replica released by the Mariners Care Foundation to celebrate the team's 50th season. There were only 400 made, and they're all already sold out. So naturally, the morning crew had to see what $150 could get you. It's heavy, it's shiny, and honestly, it's kind of a flex, and the money supports the Mariners Care Foundation. If you missed out on the gold, there is a platinum version still available for a $250 donation. And yes, our morning producer says he has absolutely zero regrets on buying this.
It's very loose in my mouth.
So I just got back from Idaho. They are really big on their Idaho Spud candies. Marcus here has never tried one, so we thought we would change that today.
This is what we're doing here.
Yeah, because I don't want you to know what it looks like.
I'm game. Here we go, America. Let's do it.
Are you nervous at all?
I trust you, Perry. It kind of smells like coffee cake a little bit.
Okay.
Man. Ooh.
Big,
no,
big,
it's soft.
Big bite,
It's
Marcus.
soft.
Come
Big
on.
bite.
Come on,
Here
big
we go.
bite.
It's very.
Wait, do you like it or no?
It's very marshmallowy. It's very loose in my mouth. I don't know if I like that.
Loose in your mouth.
Perry, I don't know. Perry, I need some water, dog.
I
need some water. Oh my
All right,
God.
I better go get him water.
Oh.
I guess Idaho's not for you.
Idaho, we'll have to meet up another time, player. Woo, can't do this.